tell us a bit, Laura, about why you think keeping a writing journal or rough book is a really important thing to do?
Absolutely. I've kept writing books since I was really small. Obviously, in my day, it wasn't normal for a child to have a laptop or, you know, a phone or anything. Shakespeare never had a laptop. I watch a lot of Honey Boo Boo at the moment.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
Okay. So, writing a journal was really important to me. I've actually got a pile that's just as tall as me, just full of old scrapbooks. And again, they say I can read them and they're more magnificent than a diary, because a diary you become very factual. I had chicken for dinner. When you are writing a writing journal, you're talking about how you felt at the time, and even if the piece is completely made up and you're using, you know, completely your imagination, it will still say so much about how you're feeling at that time. When I had made my first book, Mistakes in the Background, I actually read all my old journals that I had since I was younger, and I think I kept my first journal from when I was about 9. So there was so much in there, and actually a couple of poems I just sort of did recycle and use from being that small and then adding little bits into it. It is so nice writing on paper, pen and paper. If you were interested in writing, I know laptops are amazing and they speed the journey up and they make things easy to edit and they spell check for you. Audible how effective that is. Actually, nothing beats the scribbles and the scratches and the doodles, and especially for me, because I illustrate as well, and believe me, I'm not the best illustrator in the world, there could be improvement. It's lovely to be able to draw and write, and then your journals become works of art almost in their own form, again arguable, but for yourself, you look at something and you can see a whole image. It's you're putting your brain onto an open book where everything is allowed to feel untidy and unmessy. I keep a journal with me all the time. I've got pocket-sized ones and larger ones, beautiful. I could spend money on a proper journal that looks amazing. The importance of that as well for a young person is to make sure that your ideas are always going down. You'll get incredible ideas. You might be sitting in maths and your big idea will come. And that will be because you've read something good the night before and it will hit you when you least expect it. And just like the BFG with those dreams that you've got to catch, you've got to run around and catch those ideas before they escape you. So you've got to make sure you write them down. And they might not always seem useful, but you don't realise it's useful until you need it. So that's why it's important to keep those journals. Don't throw them away. Even if it means giving them to someone you love and putting them in the attic. Always write. And another thing that I always do as well, if I don't have a journal on me or I need to write something down, anything will do, a napkin, borrow some paper, the back of a receipt, and then I stick them inside the journal. As soon as I go home, you don't need to write them out, you've got no time. Just sellotape it in the journal and then it's there.
Because it's okay to be messy.
It's important to be messy. Look at me, I've got nail varnish on 3 fingers. It's important to be messy because it proves that you live your life. I don't like those showroom houses. I think it's important to look somewhere like, you know, you live somewhere. You need to make your mark on the world. There's so many of us. You need to prove that you have a good life.
And as you said, there's always time later to be neat and correct spelling needs to be corrected or whatever. But the journal is your kind of messy creative space. For collecting ideas.
The journal is your messy creative space for collecting ideas, and also I think the editorial process, that's the fun bit of writing and creating. Once say Darcy Burdocks, that's out now and that's finished, I can't ever touch that again, my hands have been taken off, and that's a relief because I feel like I could work on something forever and ever and ever. So I think when you're editing, you're making, that's the part, it's a luxury time and you can take as long as you need and it belongs to you. It's a private thing, it's a relationship between you and your brain. You need brain conversations. There's so much going on, you just take some time out and have a good old scribble. A great thing if you are worried how to start a journal, say if you buy a lovely book and you don't know how to begin it, you always think, oh, what's my first page going to be? Other than obviously the fancy page where you need to write, this book belongs to, everyone needs to do that. This really great exercise is really simple, but it's called free writing, and you can just set yourself, I usually do about 10 minutes, and I do it most times before I begin writing a new book. And I just will sit down and I give myself 10 minutes on the clock, I'm not allowed to do anything else. The rules are, you have to just put your pen on the paper and start writing. You don't worry about your spelling, your grammar, you don't think consciously about what you're writing, and you don't take your pen off the paper until the 10 minutes, so set an alarm or something, is done. And even if you end up writing, I'm a fish, I'm a fish, I'm a fish, I'm a fish, over and over and over and over and over and over again, it's still clearing your brain out, and then your best ideas will come to the front. So that's a really good way. You're all going to write I'm a fish now, but it's a really good way of doing that. It's taking the rubbish out and recycling and freshening your brain. And free writing is a great way to begin a journal. And if you do that once a day, once a week even, your ideas will start to come right to the front of your head.